What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, it's about to get a little bit better because you're about to feel way worse for this kid. Realistically, you probably won't feel too bad for him because he deserved it, but regardless, anytime a mom ends up calling the cops on her own son because of video games, it's something we gotta talk about here on the channel, alright? It's right up my alley. So without further ado, let's talk about this kid who had to awkwardly explain to the cops why his mom called the police on him for gaming too hard. You would think that it's illegal. I'm getting quiet now. Laying low when you're rich, so I'm wiping out. Making out, stack the bread, cause you love the sound. Just so I'm Alright, obviously, a parent calling the cops on their own kid is a pretty interesting situation, but the headline that specifically got my attention was, Mom calls cops over son's game addiction. And I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, dude, that mom's a jerk, but I'm gonna be honest with you here, bro. If you're into video games so much where your mom feels so helpless she calls the cops, you can probably just spend a little less time on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you should quit video games, but if your mom is calling the police, she feels so helpless, you should help her out a little bit and maybe cut back on the video games, chief. The Boston Herald reports that 49-year-old Angela Mija, the single mother of 4 children, was forced to call the cops on her 14-year-old son over Grand Theft Auto. According to a police report, the addiction has been a growing problem for quite some time, leaving the woman overwhelmed and exasperated. Mija finally snapped when she discovered her son playing Grand Theft Auto at 2:30 a.m. long after he was told to go to bed. Everyone knows you should only try the rare stay-up sneaking video games with the Nintendo DS because you have the ability to shut it and pretend to be asleep very quickly. I thought that was just common knowledge. Real talk though, dude, this is not a very slick gamer move right here. You shouldn't make your mom so exhausted because you're addicted to GTA that she has to call the cops, bro. Like, genuinely, look, if it's a school night, I know GTA can be addicting. 2:30 is a little late, especially when your mom is like this stressed out. I know I probably sound like a boomer right now, but honestly, like, if the mom got to the point of calling the cops, I feel like the son has to have been going bonkers over Grand Theft Auto. Did he start thinking that he was a Grand Theft Auto character, just like bringing home hookers in the living room? That's my only question, dude. Like, he had to have thought he was living in GTA, just not listening to any instructions, carjacking people. The neighbor Daniel got carjacked. What is it about video games that just hit harder late at night? Like, I understand the struggle, bro. There is something about the glow of the television at 2 in the morning that is nice. You just can't do it to the point where your mom's this stressed, dog. Infuriated, she unplugged her son's PlayStation console. The model wasn't specified. As most gamers know, unplugging an active console is a big no-no. Might as well thrust a knife into our back. Thus, a heated argument ensued between these two, and the mother eventually dialed 911 and asked the police to help with her obsessed son. I don't know who the hell wrote this article, bro, but no, I don't think unplugging a console is equivalent to a knife in the back to a gamer, dude. No wonder boomers and like adults think gamers are the cringiest people in the earth because this is what they're reading. Us, the gamers. Yo, dude, if your mom unplugged your console, she basically stabbed you in the back. We're trying to get people to like video games. You can't stand up for this kid, bro. You can't be fighting your mom because she unplugged your PlayStation. You know there's gotta be more to the story. Like, the mom called 911. That means he had to have freaked out when this PlayStation left the room, dude. I'm talking greatest freak out ever. Remember that video with the remote? Like, you understand how far you have to push your mother to call the cops on you, freaking out at 2:30 in the morning over a PlayStation, man. I'm sorry, but this article is so cringe for saying that that's acceptable. You should never fight your mom over your video games. Do you think that's what he told the cops? They like pulled up to him. Yo, listen, I know you guys are here because I threatened to beat my mom with my PlayStation, but hear me out here, dude. She did unplug my console straight up in the middle of Grand Theft Auto. You know how messed up that is? Like, dude, it really doesn't matter. That's still not cool, dog. Like, your mom is your mom. And before people in the comments are like, dude, some people's moms suck. Yeah, I agree. But let's not forget that all of this started because he was playing games at 2:30 in the morning, which he knew he wasn't supposed to be doing. Like, he broke the rule that he knew was a rule and then is like, oh, I'm gonna fight you for taking the PlayStation. What do you think your mom's gonna do when she catches you sneaking video games at 2:30 in the morning when this has been a repeated problem? Politely ask you to go to bed? No, she's gonna do what moms do and freak out a little bit. I love how she called the police for help, but like, I don't really know what they're gonna do. They can't unaddict your kid to Grand Theft Auto. They don't know anything about that. Two officers who responded to the call told Harold that they were surprised that there was more involved than just cooling down a family feud. Ultimately, they diffused the situation, telling the son to chill out and go to bed, and the report didn't reveal any details about what happened to the console or games or if any therapy would be involved. Listen, hot take, okay? This might get me in trouble with a couple of you guys. They should take his PlayStation away, dog. Like, you know, I love video games, but if you start fighting your mom, you kind of lose the privilege to be playing video games, dude. If it's keeping you up all night and making you fight your family members, then yeah, you are the definition of addicted, and you probably shouldn't be doing it that much. Gaming isn't possible for everybody, I guess. Like, I've never been this addicted to video games, but hey, I don't know, maybe they're putting digital crack in it, dude. Who knows these days what they're putting in the video games and the soup and the things. Regardless, how do you think that went down with the cops? Do you think they showed up and when he realized he was about to have to look an adult in the eyes and explain that he had been fighting the mother who, you know, had provided for him over all these years because he was playing a video game at 2:30 in the morning, did he just realize how stupid that was gonna sound and decide not to try it? Because I'll be honest, like, I understand getting heated in the moment, and then as soon as you have to explain why you're heated, you're like, damn, I was really, really stupid. I feel like this had to have been one of those situations. Like, the cop looked at him and said, all right, so let me get this straight. It's a school night, right? It's 2:30 in the morning, right? And you are yelling at the TV, playing a video game that you and your mom are always fighting over. And he's like, yeah, exactly, dude, it's pretty messed up. So she unplugs my console. That's straight up not cool. So you decided to respond to her unplugging the video game that you knew you weren't supposed to be playing in the middle of the night by fighting her to the point where she called the cops. Well, okay, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound like it makes sense. But if you say it in a way that makes sense, then it sounds like it makes sense. You know what I mean? Lawrence Kuttner, former co-director for the Center of Mental Health and Media at Massachusetts General Hospital, told the Herald that the police call spoke more about the mom's frustration than the boy's so-called addiction, and he also added that adults see video games as an isolating experience, whereas young males see games as a way of gaining social acceptance. And I will say, dude, this is something that I feel like gamers run into a lot of trouble for, dude. With our parents who grew up in like the 80s and the 90s, you know, I don't know how young your guys' parents are, maybe the 70s, let's get old, 60s even. Wow, some of your parents got some mustaches on them. What I will say is that they just don't really understand that, like, the internet is a social thing. When I was in high school, my mom wouldn't understand that, like, I wasn't at my friend's house hanging out because we were all playing games together at the exact same time. And yeah, I would still go out and do stuff, but my parents thought whenever I was on the computer or playing video games, I was, like, just talking to myself, and they thought I was low-key going nuts. The reality is I just don't think adults understand gaming. That being said, you can never fight your mom over her unplugging your PlayStation, dude, regardless of how misunderstood or Tumblr or 14 and This Is Deep you are. You can't fight your mom over her unplugging your console, okay? It's just a bad look, and it's not really worth it. Like, the lady gave birth to you, bro. The least you could do is just not fight her over some games. Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. Subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. I just figured that I had to share this with y'all. If you want more content, I do have a podcast called the Scuffed Cast. Link will be down below, along with the link to the intro song if you enjoyed it. And last but certainly not least, if you become a member here on the channel, you get a shout out at the end of every single video and a verified checkmark next to your name in the comment section. So without further ado, big shout out to Nick Moon, DJ Legend, Antog Rogue, Michael Savage, Way Too Psycho, Leo, Alex, Jackie Gold, Cordy, Titanium Tendons, Board, Philip, Coleman, Arrow, Logan, Typical Panda, Master, Aaron, TNT, Pepe, William, Christian, Ender, Mackenzie, Geo, Kyle, Jellybean, Sambroni, Wiffles, Potassium, Benedicti, Mom, Mad Madness, Brandon Groves, Slick Pickle, Kim, Dylan, Chungus, Tiny Proxy, Zoric, Dashy Boy, Unreal Decoy, Sebastian Bees, Johnny Dude, Cosmic Robin, Candy Rose, Fabulously Terrifying, Chandler Lewis, Ryuki, Sparky, and Why So Blurry. Thank you all so much for being members. It really does mean the world. And yeah, on that note, do not get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And check out the merch link down below. It's pretty cool. I forgot to plug that, so I'm gonna do it now. We got the Christmas Karen sweater, the haha merch, and the OG Sub Club merch, all of which I personally can biasly say that they're fantastic and fire. Like I said, I'm biased though. And on that note, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'm out. Peace. Or in a couple hours. Peace.